Hello everyone and welcome back to another Draft Today video. My name is Jeff Hogan and I'm joined by special guest Declan Hoagland this morning, the tiny draft master, if you would. And we have a first pack in our 665 draft. There's actually a lot of playables in this pack. We've got a Midnight Gatherer, which I'm pretty sure is the pick. It's 1/1 Flight for 2 that on Diligence, it either gives you a random resource from your deck or turns into a Stroke of Midnight, which even as just in a two threshold deck, just like a 2/2 Flight, Life Drain, Steadfast is very reasonable in this format. There's also Webborn Apostate that's plenty playable. This pack's very good for Diamond. There's the Gatherer, there's a Gallant Spearcliff, there's a Storm Rider here, there's a Mooncall Ceremony. Cheap Shot's a playable Blood card, Windborn Ascension's a playable Sapphire card. I'm going to pick up the Gatherer, but picking the Gatherer up out of this pack is a little bit medium because it's going to send the message to my opponent that Diamond is open. The only card I could really cut out of this pack without sending a message is the Feed the Flames, but I think the Gatherer is a high enough power level that it's worth just picking up while not sending a strong message with our first pack. In our second pack here, we don't have too many terribly playable Diamond cards. We've got Razor Edge Duelist here. Canyonwood, Fleetfoot I'm not particularly fond of. So while I'm of the opinion that Razor Edge Duelist is the only really playable Diamond card in this pack, there's a lot of people that I see play all three of these other cards, so I don't really feel like cutting the Duelist out of this pack sends a very strong message. We got 3 good Sapphire cards in this pack, so it's possible that one of these can come back around. It's also possible that, like, you know, 6, 7 other people are going to see this pack again before we see it. So, like, if I take the Shackling Strands, the Cloudbounder, and the Duskwing will probably disappear. Maybe the Sweep Away makes it back to us. This is probably objectively the most powerful card in the pack. It's just a quality piece of removal. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Shackling Strands and just kind of wait and see what keeps coming around here. It's been a few days since we played Sapphire Diamond, right? Yeah, unless you count, I guess 2 days ago we played a Blood Splash. That being said, Sapphire Diamond is definitely one of the most powerful archetypes in this format. So this pack's pretty solidly medium for both of our shards. The best card in Diamond here is Mooncall Ceremony, which is probably the pick. Conscripted Ardent Troop with cost 3, it gets -1 cost, as well as Sweep Away here. Put a troop into its controller's hand and get a Broombot. As far as the uncommons go up here, I'm not a big fan of Arcane Soil. I don't think Wild Sapphire is very good outside of the very specific Dreadlings archetype, which takes a lot to go right in your favor to get that deck. Probed Warpath, I think, is just a generally good card. It summons some Dreadlings, which is good in the Dreadling archetype, but it's also just a 5/5, so it's good with the removal like Crossing Sword. It also just like fuels random Scrouge cards. A lot of these decks happen to have 1 or 2 of. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Mooncall Ceremony because it does cut the best Diamond card out of this pack. Hopefully the Revision wheels for us, because I really do like that card in this format. This pack isn't particularly strong for Diamond or Sapphire here. Vanquish is probably the best card in those 2 shards in this pack, followed closely by Tale of Insight. Neither of these cards are super impressive, but they're both playable. Dread Apprentice and Cheap Shot are both reasonable Blood cards, along with Shadowblade Splicer, so if someone's in Blood, they're going to be pretty happy with this pack. It could be that I should pick up one of these cards just to, like, possibly move into Blood, but I'm not sure I'm ready to give up the Shackling Strands just yet. Battle Prep's the best wild card in this pack. Burly Botanist is, like, decent in the Dreadling shells, but it's kind of expensive. Those decks tend to get kind of clunky if you get too many 5s. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Wakuna Coins, just because we're likely playing Diamond, and we're 10 out of 10 going to play this Wakuna Coins in our final deck, as opposed to drafting something that otherwise, that we otherwise might not play because it's not particularly powerful. Alright, and then this pack, we have a Copycat here still, which is not really limited playable. Requires 5 Sapphire Thresholds. Copy another target troop, then revert that troop. Rift Spasm. We could pick up the Rift Spasm on the off chance we can pivot into the Charges deck if we get a bunch of these. There's nothing particularly exciting in this pack in either of our shards. So yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up the Rift Spasm here. Just on the off chance we see like this Rock Slider come back around and we want to move into playing Ruby, Sapphire. It wouldn't be too sad if we don't play these diamond cards. I actually think the Shackling Strands is the best other card that we've picked up so far since it's actually removal. As far as this pack goes, yeah, I think we need to move out of the diamond. The good diamond cards are not coming around. You have Memory of the Fallen here, which is like okay. Ardent Courage is medium. Sapphire's Favor is actually pretty good at triggering Rift Spasm all on its own. It gives you 2 charges. I think I would rather grab the Blitz, though. It's a playable combat trick. The Sapphire's Favor is not a particularly powerful card in the format outside of the Rift Spasm deck, so I think there's a pretty good chance that wheels. There's another Rock Slider. Yeah, maybe we move into the Charges deck here. We got a Zap here as well. Deal 1 damage to an opposing champion or troop gain a charge. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the Rock Slider, and then there's probably a pretty good chance that that Zap wheels. Vanquish in here is okay. I'm not quite sure what our second threshold is gonna be. We could go either direction at this point, either Diamond. I guess the Rift Spasm means we want to be Sapphire Ruby. Makes me kind of sad that we're not going to play this coins, but it is what it is. And then here's a small impasse here. So Flamethorn Archer is a really quality card. 3/2, deal 1 damage to target champion or troop. But there's also this Rust Bucket Distractor here, which the Rust Bucket Distractor is an Underworld troop, whereas this is Ardent. And I think Ted's, the Underworld champion, is Theraz. Sorry, not Tez. Theraz is the better champion overall for the Charges deck, so I probably want the Rust Bucket Distractor more so than the Flamethorn Archer. Nothing in either of our thresholds here. Storm Rider is a pretty reasonable card in Diamond. I'm going to go ahead and pick that up, just in case our draft ends up being a hodgepodge and we're not quite sure where we're at. Yeah, maybe Sapphire stuff doesn't come around at all, and we end up just like splashing this Rift Spasm in a Ruby Diamond deck. Conceal's probably a reasonable card. Target troop gets +1 power and unblockable permanently. Keen Ground's actually probably not unplayable. Discard a card at random, then draw 2 cards. A lot of times you can get your hand empty in these decks, and then this is just a draw 2 in the mid to late game. Nothing super exciting in here. I guess I'll take the Reversion in case we end up in Diamond. Hopefully the other Rock Slider we saw comes back around. Deadeye Invoker is like an okay top-end card. It triggers Rift Spasm all on its own when you scrounge it. This needs to gain 2 or more charges in a turn for this to work out. Another Invoker. Man, Draka Outcast is still here too. There's no way we can afford to pick that up. Wild's pretty open, but I feel like we're pretty pot committed to not Wild at this point. We've got like 8 playables in this pack, like 7-ish if we don't want 2 Deadeye Invokers. It's not completely unreasonable. I don't think the Rock Slider's coming back around, just a little sad. I'll grab a Ruby's favorite. It's worth a little bit of platinum. This card might be playable in the main deck. 3 damage to an opposing champion. They sacrifice artifact or your troops gain Swift Strike. That might be a playable combat trick, honestly. Especially with the Rock Slider. Like, this can get a lot of power and crush when you gain a bunch of charges. So, like, Ruby's Favor is a good combo with that. Briar Tusk is the most playable card in this pack. It continues to build our mostly diamond reserves here as well. It's a sneak, oh, it's sneak. Hopefully we get a second Rift Spasm in this next pack. That would be ideal. All of the snacks. Spasms, 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 spasms! No Rift Spasm here. We have a Vigilant Duskwing and an Eerie Interlude. I'm pretty sure we're just obligated to pass this Vampire Queen. We're probably not going to end up on Ardent, but Eerie Interlude's a playable removal spell regardless of whether or not it's making a Valor, so that's probably the pickup here. I don't think we want another Ruby's Favor. And Vigilant Duskwing's kind of a bomb. I guess if we're in Underworld anyways, maybe we want that. There's a lot of good Ruby cards in this pack, and this kind of cuts Sapphire. Yeah, I think I've talked myself into taking the bomb here as opposed to the clunky removal spell. Do 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 do. Heidi ho the cheerio. Do 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 do. You're such a good kid, Declan. Ittiest, bittiest, tiniest Declan. Man, this pack is stacked. Wow. Man, our deck is really all over the place. I'm in Sapphire, and this is a Consult the Talon, so I should probably draft it. There's like Shackling Strands and Feed the Flames and Web Scribe. It's Skittery Cultivator. Like, man, if we don't get a playable back out of this pack when there's when this comes around with 8 cards in it, if we don't get a playable out of it, we are definitely in the wrong shards, which could be a real possibility here. We need some more troops to fill out our bottom end here for sure. Probably don't want 2 Deadeye Invokers, for instance, either. It's just, you know, what deck doesn't want to draw 3 cards, really? Limited format's often slow enough that you're going to get to that point in most games. Hi! You're a good kid, huh? Just hanging out with Dad? Doing a draft? Dad and Declan draft time? Come on! 2s, 3s, Rift Spasms, Rock Sliders. Ooh. Oh! Swordsmith Engineer. Scrounge 1. Get speed, diligence, gain a charge. Yep, that card's plenty fine. It's also another Underworld troop for our Underworld troop charge deck. So it's Underworld and it gives us charges, so... Because this is 665, this is our last pack to get Rift Spasms and Rock Slider. So hopefully, I'd like one more payoff card, ideally. And Rock Slider is a common, so there's a pretty good chance that we get one of those passed at some point here. Hey, look, another Shackling Strands. The Zap kind of fits with our charge theme, but I think I'd rather pick up another piece of quality removal here. We only have 1 removal so far and 1 Shackling Strand, so... Want to get some, like, Web Scribe would actually be insane. There's a possibility we should have taken that over the Consult, but that's probably heresy, because Consult... Web Scribe, whenever you gain a charge, it gives the troop minus 2 power until your next turn cycle. So with all of our things that give extra charges and our champion power, it will be quite potent. It's tough to lose a Web Scribe when you're one of the charged... It's tough to lose races with Web Scribe when you're one of the charged champions. Theraz and Mulzan. Feed the Flames is just really quality removal here. I kind of wouldn't mind grabbing a Cerulean Sage, even though it's not Underworld, but I think I'd rather have another piece of quality removal. But we're really fortunate Cerulean Sage or Stalaga Mage will come back around to us out of this pack. So this is pick 22, so we've got 3 more picks out of this pack cycle that we haven't seen yet, so hopefully one of those 3 is a Rock Slider or Rift Spasm in it still. It's possible to get late Rift Spasms in the second pack because someone would have had to be in these shards already to want to pick that up. Rock Slider is a higher pick priority because it's just Ruby, but it's also common, so it's much easier to have in a pack. We've got more Ruby than we do Sapphire cards at this point, but the Sapphire cards we're playing are double thresholds. It's probably looking like a 9-9 deck so far in terms of resources that we're playing. We're also at 13 playables already, so we're kind of on track for that pace at least. Ashwood Minstrel is okay, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and take another Feed the Flames here. We're kind of building up into like a Sapphire Ruby control deck, right? Maybe I want this other Deadeye Invoker at the top end, just as like another 4 or 5 bombish type card that can also like give a huge burst to Rift Spasms and Rock Sliders. 2 more packs for Rock Sliders, Declan. Say it with me now. Rock Slider! Rock Slider! Rock Slider! What do we need? We need a Rock Slider! Can we be greedy? Can we hope for 2 Rock Sliders? 2 Rock Sliders! Who's a good kid? Yeah, you good kid sitting here with your dad. Slide right on into my draft deck here, Rock Slider. I believe. I believe, I believe, I believe! Sing it with me, Declan. I believe! I believe in the Rift Spasms and the Rock Sliders of these last 2 packs. I believe in the Rift Sliders and the Rock Spasms of these last 2 packs. Oh no, Declan. Oh no. There's nothing good in here. I think we're light enough on troops at this point that this Amphibious Arachnid is currently looking playable. So we're going to just like quietly put this into our deck while we weep. It's like have a bunch of removal and other clunk here. I've got, how many troops do I actually have? 1 Distractor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 if I play this other Invoker, so probably need to up the pick priority on troops, especially cheaper troops at this point. We're really fortunate that Web Scribe's going to come back out of the second pack that we looked at. This is it. This is our last shot at a Rock Slider, Declan. Our one last chance. It's a chance to roll. This opportunity comes once in a draft time. Put down some Eminem beats there. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Declan. There's no cards we were hoping to get in this pack. So we got a True Heart Skirmisher here, which is not particularly good. I think I just have to take the Stalaga Mage just for, like, curve purposes. It's not super exciting, mostly because it's Ardent and not Underworld, but I'm pretty sure that's the life we're living in at this point. Alright, it's not this pack, but the next one that was stacked for us. This pack, the Explosive Interlude, came back around. We've already got 4 pieces of removal down here. Honestly, I'm probably just supposed to take the Minstrel here. This card's so aggressively mediocre, though. This is kind of close. I feel like the Zap could be reasonable, but I only have two charge payoff cards, so I should probably just take the Explosive Interlude, honestly. Hopefully this next pack still has the Web Scribe in it, or the Skittering Cultivator. We would like 2 drops and Underworld troops, so both of those things would be great for us. Please, please, webscribe, skittering cultivator, come to Papa. Watch all the Sapphire cards be gone, and that's why we're not getting good ones. Almost all the Sapphire cards are gone. Well, that explains that. Yep, gonna grab the sweep away here. Hopefully there's strong Ruby in this last pack. We are drafting 665, so most of the busted Ruby cards in this format are in set 5, so... I think we're at a point in our lives where registering Mechanized Gem Scout with a Valor gem in it is something that we're coming around to. We're not excited to have arrived at this point in our lives, but I think we're there, and we're just gonna have to like deal with it at this point. I wonder if Swift Strike is better than Valor. Swift Strike, I could see Swift Strike being better than Valor. There's definitely an argument for that. 3/3 Swift Strike is like okay. I guess there's a lot of X4s in this format though. And that's a very real reason to play Valor. We got a Zap. Okay. Fair. We got a lot of playables here. Playable-ish cards. Still kind of light on troops. This is like a pseudo troop, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9. Get like 4 or 5 more troops here in our next few packs. This is probably an 18 shard deck with 3/5 drops here. Maybe if we get enough playable troops in the next pack, we just like don't play the Deadeye Invoker. I'm not excited about this card at all, even in our charge-based deck. There's Salagamage. Salagamage is kind of medium. If we would have gotten that Cloudbounder earlier, I'd be more excited about this Salagamage. And it's kind of unfortunate that we ended up picking up powerful diamond cards to start, and then ended up not panning out on that shard. We definitely passed a Cloudbounder for a diamond card at one point, I believe. Whoa, okay, I must have lagged there, and I didn't get my Salagamage. We got the Minstrel. Probably weren't playing 2 Salagamages. It's still kind of annoying. My internet connection has been kind of miserable the last couple of days. Lots of random drops and disconnects. Let's get through the dredges at the end of the pack here. The gain ground, sure. I don't think we want to play multiple gain ground. Drawing these early is pretty bad, but like in the mid to late game, it's just like a draw 2 off the top, so that's fine. Another gain ground. Dun, 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 dun. This card is on Threshold, but not something that we're playing in a deck without artifacts. Bombs? Bombs? Titanospore, not the bomb we are looking for. Create 7 Dreadlings, then put them into your hand. Sacrifice Champion, this gets invincible. Blazing Hammer, just quality removal, 4 damage to target champion or troop at Ruby. 10 out of 10, picking that guy up there. It's reach, it's removal, it's just like, it slices, it dices, so it's just like everything you want in life. Alright, let's see how this pack can pan out here. I'm pretty light on Sapphire, honestly. Obviously, the Sapphire cards we have are 10 out of 10 worth it, though. Jackling Strand's excellent, Sweep Away, Duskwing, Consult the Talent. We won't talk about this Gem Scout, but the rest of the Sapphire cards are good. This pack has a whole lot of nothing in it for us. Battle Agenda is the only thing that's close to playable in our thresholds. I don't think any of these cards are worth hate drafting. I guess I'm going to take the Battle Agenda. I don't know we're necessarily going to play it. We're kind of more aggressive than mid-rangey. Maybe that's not even true. with all these pieces of removal. Like, I've got 4, 5, 6 pieces of removal at this point. Maybe we just, like, cut the Stalagamage. And we're just, like, a mid-range control deck. Doesn't seem very good with Theraz, but I'm pretty sure we're committed to Theraz to make this Spasm and Rock Slider playable. Got a few pieces of card draw now. This. Spasm's technically card draw at some points. Keep the hits coming. Want about 3 more playables in this pack. Ideally, powerful troops is what we're looking for. Just like threats that can actually end the game. Ruthless Intimidators, like, isn't part of our game plans at all, but it's just like a powerful troop at a good rate. It's just like a 3-1 that can make a Valor. So I'm pretty sure that's just the pickup here. Holds the ground early a little bit. Can also apply pressure when our opponent's not doing anything. Veiled Lurker is actually a card that I'm pretty excited to pick up. Not only is it an Underworld troop for us, but it's a card that can break board stalls when they happen. We don't have a ton of stuff to stall the board, but this is definitely a threat that they have to answer. So, I think we're a 10 out of 10 supposed to pick that up. Treacherous Pass is actually a surprisingly playable card in this format. Giving opposing troops -1 power generally allows you to swing combats in your favor. It's also very good against the Ada decks that are particularly popular, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. Every time someone plays this against me and I'm playing Ada, I just want to, like, roll over and die, so it also can enable our Surgesmith Engineer, which is our only Diligence troop, but, you know, better than nothing. Almost 22 playables. Okay, so early pressure, draw 3 cards, get 3 charges. Early pressure, draw 3 cards, get 3 charges. This is just like makes Rock Slider and Rift Spasm insane. Yeah, who am I? Who am I kidding here? Were we ever passing this card? It literally says draw 3 cards on it. Alright, now we need to cut something here. Treacherous Pass probably don't make the cut. 11 cards in this pack. I haven't seen a Mama Yeti yet. Alright, we'll just grab another Veiled Lurker here. We are definitely looking for threats. I would actually grab this Brawler if it didn't have this stupid line must attack on it, but that means it's kind of a liability. So 10 out of 10 grabbing the Veiled Lurker. Is the Zap not good enough? The Gain Ground's probably too cute. We've got a lot of quality card draw at this point. The Battle Agenda is probably our next cut if we get another playable card that's a little bit lower on the curve. Perhaps the Deadeye Invoker as well. Crackling Tide doesn't seem completely unreasonable. Bounces the troop and gives us a charge. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I don't know that we're necessarily going to play that. Honestly, the Crackling Tide's probably better than the Zap, right? Zap's kind of narrow. Warband Ruffian's kind of a quality threat. Just like a 2-3 with Rage 2. If you happen to have triple Ruby, it gets +1/+1. I think I'm going to pick that up and cut this battle agenda here. Yeah, maybe I'll cut the Mechanized Gem Scout. Yeah, that doesn't seem completely unreasonable. That card's not particularly great. I definitely think this card's a higher quality than that. Even with Swift Strike or a Valor Gem. Nothing too exciting in here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this Verdant Mill because it's probably the most powerful card in the pack, and it's one I don't really want to play against. I'd be surprised if this ends up being the 22 we end up registering. How many troops do we end up with here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I guess that's not the worst. Not the absolute worst. Sapper's Wallbuster, you say? Yeah, sure. Grab that, put it on the board. You know, for when we need more removal past the infinite removal we already have. Might be better than this Crackling Tide, honestly. War Rider's best card in the pack. Just picking up the chaff at the end here before we add our shards and call it a day. If I look around here, do we have any sockets at all that are need to be? No. Alright, I'm gonna grab Dust Cloud. Again, nothing here particularly playable. Grab a Bladesman. It's very possible. I'm gonna grab this extra Bladesman that, like, this Gem Scout and this Bladesman should be in the deck because we don't have enough threats, but I think I'm gonna try it like this for the first time. The baby Yeti. Poor, poor Yeti. Do. Alrighty here. So now we're just going to go ahead and I'm just going to double check my costs really quick. I'm pretty sure this is just a 9-9 split right down the middle. Yeah, we've got enough. The resources in this deck actually might be one of the bigger issues with it. And it's definitely a reason to play 18. 18 also helps you hit your thresholds as well. And Theros doesn't require any special thresholds for his power, so we're going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to go ahead and save the deck, and then we'll call it a day. As always, my name is Jeff Hogan. Thank you for watching our Draft Today video. Remember, if you enjoyed today's video, to like it on YouTube and share it on your social media. There's also a couple different ways you can support my content. The first is by buying Hex TCG singles from our sponsor, Hex Primal. If you use code Jeff5 at their shop, you'll get 5% off of your order. You can also subscribe to my content directly by subscribing on Twitch for $4.99 a month or becoming a patron on Patreon. Thanks for watching, as always, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Draft Today.